Most people read books for entertainment or quick motivation, but billionaires read books for transformation. They don't just turn the pages, they turn their minds. The difference isn't in what they read, it's in how they read. The same book that inspires an average person to take notes can inspire a billionaire to start a company or change an entire industry. The reason is simple. They read differently. They read to connect ideas, to spot opportunities, and to shape the future. Take the book The Intelligent Investor by Benjamin Graham. Millions have read it. Most readers highlight quotes, feel inspired for a few days, and move on. Billionaires like Warren Buffett read it like a manual for life. He didn't just understand the stock market lessons, he absorbed the mindset behind them. When Graham talked about being patient while others panic, Buffett made it a lifelong rule. He didn't just memorize the advice, he built his entire investing philosophy around it. That's the difference. The average reader takes information. The billionaire extracts wisdom. Billionaires don't read to finish books. They read to master concepts. They don't measure progress by pages but by application. When they read about value investing, they test it. When they read about leadership, they practice it. Reading for them is not a hobby, it's a strategy. Each book becomes a new set of tools to apply in real life. They don't move to the next chapter until they have extracted something actionable from the current one. That's why one book can shape their thinking for years. Another book that billionaires read differently is Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. Most people read it for quotes about peace, patience, or resilience. They post a few lines on social media and move on. But for billionaires, this book is a mental operating system. They use it to master emotional control in high-pressure decisions. When business crises hit or markets crash, Stoic principles from this book remind them to stay calm, focus on what they can control, and ignore what they can't. They don't just admire Stoicism, they live it. That ability to stay grounded while the world panics is a trait that separates the wealthy from everyone else. The third book is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. It's one of the most famous personal development books ever written. Millions have read it. But very few have applied it the way it was meant to be applied. Most readers treat it like a motivational book. Billionaires treat it like a manual for rewiring the mind. When Hill wrote about desire, persistence, and specialized knowledge, billionaires didn't just nod in agreement, they created a system around those principles. They wrote down their goals, visualized them daily, built networks, and took massive action. They didn't read and hope, they read and executed. The average person reads for comfort. Billionaires read for confrontation. They read to challenge their own beliefs. They look for ideas that make them uncomfortable because they know discomfort leads to growth. When a book forces them to rethink how they manage time, handle risk, or approach money, they don't resist it. They study it. They dissect it. They test it. That's why they grow faster. Books don't just give them knowledge. They give them leverage. Another thing that separates billionaire readers from everyone else is how they connect ideas from different books. Most people read one topic at a time: finance, self-help, or leadership. Billionaires mix ideas. They might take a lesson on focus from a Stoic text, combine it with a business principle from an economics book, and apply both in a new venture. They see patterns others miss because they read to integrate, not to impress. Reading becomes an act of creation. Every new idea links to something else they've learned, forming a network of knowledge that helps them make faster and better decisions. When an average person reads, they often stop at information. But billionaires go one step further to implementation and reflection. After reading, they ask 3 questions. What can I apply now? What do I need to change? How can I make this useful for others? That process turns information into insight and insight into action. Over time, those small applications compound into massive results. Billionaires also understand that the goal of reading is not escape, it's evolution. They don't read to run away from reality, they read to reinvent it. A single paragraph can trigger $1 million idea because they're always reading with intention. They highlight not just what sounds good, but what works. They don't say, "That's interesting." They say, "How can I use this today?" Most people read a book once and put it back on the shelf. Billionaires revisit their favorites repeatedly. Every reread gives them something new because they've grown since the last time they read it. They treat books like mentors. Each time they return, they find deeper lessons that match their current challenges. It's not about collecting books. It's about mastering them. Even the way billionaires take notes is different. They don't just copy quotes. They summarize principles in their own words. They connect those principles to real-life actions. They turn knowledge into systems. Some of them even build teams or businesses around a single concept they found in a book. They understand that reading isn't just consumption, it's creation. While most people read with their eyes, billionaires read with their minds. They visualize what the author means. They imagine how it fits into their own world. They don't just absorb information, they interact with it. They question it, debate it, and refine it until it becomes part of who they are. Books for them aren't entertainment, they are blueprints. And here's what most people miss. Reading like a billionaire isn't about having a library full of expensive books. It's about how deeply you engage with what you read. You can read one book a month and still build wealth if you apply it properly. It's not the quantity of reading that matters. It's the quality of reflection. Every page becomes a conversation between you and the author, between your current self and your future self. If you want to read like a billionaire, stop reading to finish. Start reading to transform. Don't just highlight. Apply. Don't just agree. Experiment. Don't just admire the author. Challenge yourself to live what you read. Books have the power to change your mind, but only if you let them. Most people miss the point because they look for inspiration instead of instruction. Billionaires don't read to feel good. They read to get better. They turn every chapter into a call to action, every idea into a result. And that's why money, success, and opportunities seem to chase them effortlessly. They're not just reading words, they're rewriting their lives. So the next time you open a book, remember this. You might be holding the same pages a billionaire once read. The difference won't be in the text. The difference will be in how you read it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.